Seeing the hero of a movie fight his way through a storm is awesome, but seeing one of the most powerful hurricanes in history right outside your window is another matter entirely. Mother Nature has been quite upset with us this year, so grab your umbrella. Here's how it feels to be in the eye of Hurricane Ian for 5 hours straight. Locals haven't experienced anything even close to this in the last 30 years. In weather like this, on a mountain road, a landslide can happen at any moment. But life has not prepared me at all to be chased by one. This guy thought some duct tape would be enough to protect his house. Well, now all that optimism is leaving his body, because even an iron door won't help during a hurricane. And this is how fast Ian was able to flood an entire house. That's why you must follow evacuation orders. This family weekend getaway abruptly ended when a tornado swept through half of Smith Island at a speed of 180 kilometers an hour. When this photographer arrived at the shooting location, he had no idea that he would have front row seats to a hurricane. Fortunately, no one here was hurt. If you want to know why Hurricane Fiona became the most expensive hurricane in Canadian history, then watch closely. A very rare phenomenon was witnessed on the beach during a powerful storm, the Great Umbrella Migration, and the fastest evacuation of people from the beach. Here's what the Indian version of a Tesla supercharger looks like. Definitely more effective. And this doesn't even look like lightning anymore, more like Zeus's cannon. This guy couldn't believe that a downpour could wash away an entire car so easily, so Mother Nature decided to show him her new trick. Yeah, everyone's cars look like this on the outside during winter. But how about on the inside? So, could this be considered an insurance event? And here are the heroes who come after the flood. This dynamic duo cheers up the whole city. This is why Indonesians have been canceling their plans when it rains this year. And believe me, the Texans totally get it. This guy is just speechless because he's watching his mortgage float away right before his very eyes. Everyone learned about the little town of Andover in Kansas that day, because that is the creepiest tornado I've ever seen. But nobody wants that kind of fame.
Oh, you can hear it. Holy shit.
After all, this huge tornado destroyed about 100 of the city's buildings. And this city's oldest tree has been through a lot over the years, but not Storm Ennis.
Oh my god, I caught that on video!
A severe thunderstorm caused a river to flood the entire center of this Venezuelan city. But the problem is that the river flows just outside the city. These people in Indonesia were far less fortunate. Luckily, their car was strong enough to save them. The same couldn't be said about this man's car. I'm only 5 minutes away from Roswell. I'll push through, he thought. He's lucky it was only his windshield that was damaged. Small sandstorms happen all the time in Paraguay, but this year the sandstorm was large enough to engulf the entire city of Aeolus. And this is what it looks like there at 1 in the afternoon. In Greece, a flood began so suddenly that it took a poor courier by surprise. Fortunately, the man is fine, but his order, not so much. The owners of this mansion in Bahrain had just finished renovating it, and I can probably guess why it needed to be rebuilt in the first place. A thunderstorm doesn't care who you are. It's gonna blow you away just like everyone else. He was fighting for his life. And this guy just realized he's gonna be sleeping at work tonight. A supermarket in a Pakistani town had just installed a barrier in case the nearby cliff collapsed, but instead it got hit from somewhere they weren't expecting. Not only was the weather in this city mind-blowing, it was roof-blowing. I bet she'll never stick her hand out of the window during a thunderstorm like that again. Believe me. No, these aren't graphics from a Marvel movie. This is a real wall of water in New Orleans during Hurricane Ida. If you've ever wondered how high the waves can get during a typhoon in Japan, well, here's your answer. Very. And they call this the calm before the storm? A river overflowed its banks in Venezuela and headed straight for a nearby city, and the speed with which this yard goes underwater tells you how serious this is. The speed with which water washes away trees and cars in this Brazilian city is discouraging me from going out for a long time. Think storm drains make a difference in heavy rain? Well, take a look at this Korean city that has tons of storm drains. This family didn't have a pool in their backyard until it started pouring rain. And this house was surrounded by Hurricane Ian. And if you think that opening the window and flushing the water down the sink was a good idea, then you were wrong. This is the little waterfall known as Dip Falls in Australia. Well, at least it was little before the flood. Is anything actually small in Australia and not trying to kill you? You could always see expensive yachts on this street, but before the hurricane, they were usually brought here on trailers. Didn't you know that even yachts huddle together when in danger? This old pier in Cherry Grove has withstood many waves over the years, but it lost this battle against Hurricane Ian. Fortunately, no one was there. The rain was so heavy that day that it even caused a landslide, but it wasn't strong enough to move the titanium balls of those excavator drivers. This is sunny Florida, the land of palm trees. Well, it was until Hurricane Ian turned it into Antarctica. Oh, so that's why the builders put the toilets on the right side and not the left. In the movies, aliens always land somewhere in the USA, but in real life, they seem to prefer Cuba. There's no way this person's staying so calm while filming these clouds. Don't they know that the mothership from Independence Day could pop out at any moment? Imagine hearing the flight attendant saying, "We got a bit of a breeze outside, but we'll be taking off shortly." I would immediately leave the airport, regardless of how much I paid for my ticket. I'm sure that the residents near Matlacha always thought they'd be on the news for a different reason. This Frenchman knew that the weather outside was bad, but he didn't know that the bad weather was just getting started. The first guy doesn't understand why everybody's running until... But that's not nearly as frightening as the aftermath of the powerful earthquake that hit Japan in 2011.